Methods and tools of data collection. The data is a plural form of word data, which means that the information systematically arranged from some people that they sample. And always the data are observable and measurable facts, and this provide information about the phenomena. And there is why we are collecting the data in order to answer the research questions. Always the researcher, whenever he is starting a research, that is the statement of problem will be start by having a research question. By having a proper data collection, we can answer the research question. The data sources. So the data are collected from primary sources as well as the secondary sources. The primary sources are the people, directly we are collecting from the people, or direct observation, that objects and programs or institution directly we are observed, that is called as first-hand information. And the internal sources, that is the private documents, biographies, diaries, letters and memories. And coming to the external sources, that is the secondary sources, that is the published sources. Already someone might have done and they will be published. And that is the journals, the magazines, so that is the review of literature we will be collecting, that is the secondary source of information, that government reports or statistical abstract or census report, a mass communication or communication report. And even unpublished sources or unpublished theses, unpublished dissertation and reports, officials or patients record. Coming to the selection of methods of data collection. Selection of method of data collection. The selection of method of data collection, first one is the nature of phenomena under study. The nature of phenomena under study, that is mainly largely influence the choice of the method of data collection, and here each research phenomena has its particular characteristics, and therefore it needs different approaches and methods of data collection. Example, if you are taking some of the phenomena only can be studied appropriately through observation, such as if you want to observe any clinical practices or the staff nurses, how they are performing the endotracheal suctioning, so that this type of data can be observed directly. And the second one is the type of research subjects. The type of research subjects, the data collection methods are also influenced by the type of subjects. Example, if you are taking the data collection from physically or psychologically disabled subjects, can be done either by interview or through observation. And the third one is the type of research study. The type of research study, that is depend upon the qualitative or quantitative research studies, that is whatever the research study we are adapting, either qualitative or quantitative, based on that our method of data collection will be varying. And in case if you are taking a qualitative research, more in-depth information we need, because here we are giving more importance for the quality of the information which we are collected. At the same time, if you are adapting a quantitative research studies, here that is more structured interview, questioning or observation is used for data collection, because in quantitative, that is the number of samples we are concentrating, and always we will be having a structure, that is the restriction of the information which we need, which we are obtaining. But at the same time, if you are having a qualitative study, here we are not restricting the information, because the study depends upon the quality of the information which we are receiving from the subject. And the next one is the purpose of research study. The purpose of the study also influences the choice of the methods of data collection, and such as study conducted with the purpose of exploration of phenomena, that is in-depth interview may be needed for data collection. And this study is concluded with the purpose of description or correlation of study variables may need more structured methods of data collection. And the next one is the size of study samples. So in size of study samples, if your study is conducted on a small sample, interview or direct observation may be possible. But at the same time, if you are taking a larger sample, we have to adapt questionnaire. And the next one is the distribution of target population. Distribution of target population is spread in a large geographical area, and sometimes it may not be possible to carry out interview or observation. So here, because some remote areas and the researcher cannot assess or directly he can't do interview and such type of things. So that in such occasion, what we can do, so a mailed questionnaire can be sent to the people and we can make them to fill everything, and we can ask them to send it back. That is the distribution of target population. The next is the time frame of the study. And if the research is conducted for a long time, and it may permit the researcher to use the less structured methods of data collection to gain in-depth information, and while short frame studies may not allow the researcher to use the unstructured methods. And the next is the literacy level of the subjects. And here mainly illiterate subjects put the constraints on the use of self-responding methods of data collection such as questionnaire. Because here the illiterate subjects, in case if you are conducting the illiterate subjects, the interview we can conduct, but the thing is we have to make them to say everything in the information in their own native language for illiterate people. The next is the availability of resources and manpower. This availability of resources and manpower, the data collection require more quantities of resources and manpower, such as conducting interview and observation compared to the use of questionnaires. And here availability of resources and manpower also affects the selection of methods of data collection. The next is the researcher knowledge level of competence. And the researcher's knowledge and competence also affects the selection methods of data collection. If you are taking an example, conducting an interview, observation may require special social and psychological knowledge, skills and competence, and while the use of questionnaire may not demand these skills. So however, for the development and construction of a good questionnaire, good writing skill also needed. So these are the selection of methods of data collection. And coming to the methods and tools of data collection, that is methods of data collection, here we are following certain strategies to gather the information, that is known as the method of data collection. The next is the technique of data collection. So that is, the technique is nothing but the tool the researcher using to collect the information, that is the technique. And that is the tool for data collection, that is instrument which we are using to measure the concept of interest of the projects to collect the data. Coming to the types of methods, that is a technique, what are the different techniques we are using, and the tools for data collection. So the interview, first one is interview. Interview is a scheduled interview we can conduct, or either a opinion we can conduct it. And the second one is questioning. In that questionnaire, opinion, attitude scale we can use, and composite scale, that is Likert scale, semantic differential scale, and visual analog scale. And the third one, observation, rating scale, checklist, anecdotes, videotapes, films, closed circuit, TV we can use. Then the fourth one, biophysiological methods. In vivo, biophysiological methods, in vitro, biophysiological methods. And even other methods, projective technique we can use, Q-shot and Vignetti. And let us see what is interview method. So the interview, there is the process of communication or interaction in which the subjects or interviewee gives the needed information, that is verbally in a face-to-face situation. So interview method of data collection in which one person, that is the interviewer, the person who is asking questions. So another one is respondent. So two people needed. So the interviewer, so that is we can take a researcher or the respondent or the sample who is answering the research question, that is conducted either face-to-face or telephonically. And the interview is a conversation between two or more people, that is the conversation between interviewer and interviewee, where questions are asked by interviewer to obtain information from the interviewer. Then characteristics of interview. The characteristics of interview, the participants, the interviewer and respondents are strangers because they may not be knowing each other, and the relationship between the participants is a transitory one, and the interview is a mode of obtaining verbal answers to questions put verbally. And the investigators records information, and interviews can be conducted over telephone also, and it is not always limited to a single respondent, and it is not a standardized process, and it can be modified according to the situation. Coming to the benefits of interview, first one, it provide in-depth and detailed information. So here the greater value of this method is the in-depth and detail of information that can be secured, and when used with a well-conceived schedule, an interview can obtain a great deal of information. And second, it permits greater depth of response. So the interview permits greater depth of response, which is not possible through any other means, and it also enables an interviewer to get information concerning feelings and attitudes related to the phenomenon under research. And the third one is data from illiterate subjects. And interview is advantageous for illiterate subjects because why do not write a fluency as they speak. And the high response interview method results in better, more elaborate response than questionnaire, because here people who would normally ignore a questionnaire are willing to talk with an interview. And because the questions, and if you are mailing 20 questions if you are mailing, they will be giving answer only for 10 or 12 questions, and remaining questions they may be skipping. So such occasion we may not be getting the proper information. But at the same time, if you are conducting an interview, because since it is a direct to direct contact, face to face observation, so they will answer whatever questions you are asking. Then clarity and misunderstanding. So the clarity misunderstanding is, if you are conducting an interview, a researcher can be sensitive to the subject's misunderstanding to the questions, and it can provide further clarification on the topic. If you are misunderstanding, if the respondent is misunderstanding about the questions which the interviewer is asking, so she or he can clarify again what is the meaning of the certain question so that they can give the answer. Then ask questions at several levels. So a researcher can plan to ask questions at several levels to gather maximum information from the subjects. Then helps to gather other supplementary information. Here the interviewer can gather other supplementary information such as economic level of the subjects, or the living condition, their occupation, the family type, or any family history. So these are all the information they can collect it. Then use of special devices. The special devices, that is the interviewer can use some scoring devices or visual material, because these all the things will improve the quality of interviewing. And the next is the flexible and adequate. So that is the flexible and adequate. Interviewer always he or she will be flexible and adaptable to individual situation, and the requisite amount of control can be exercised over the interview situation. And for people who are unable to write the responses, the interviewer is very advantageous, and that is the patient with eye patches or interactions. So these are the benefits of interview. Coming to the types of interview, that is structured interview, that is also called a direct interview. So structured interview is a means of data collection. In here the interviewer has the schedule in which the research questions are listed already in advance, that is structured to be answered. So this schedule in which interviews are known as standardized interview, otherwise we can call it as the interview made with a detailed standardized schedule. So same questions are put to the respondents and in the same order. So here what will happen, the interviewer are not permitted to change the specific wording of the interview schedule questions. So that is, the interview schedule is formalized, and here the aim is to ensure that each interview is presented with exactly the same questions. And here we can increase the reliability and credibility of research data. And the main advantage, if you are taking that data from one interviewer to the next one, are easily comparable. We can compare between two person, and the recording and coding does not cause any problem, and attention will not be diverted since you are having a structured format. And the second one is an unstructured interview, that is a non-direct interview. And this unstructured interview is also called as non-standardized interview. And this is a method wherein the questions can be changed to meet the patient's intelligence, understanding, beliefs. So sometimes we can even encourage them to speak in their own native language if mainly illiterate people, and the questions are changed based on how each person responds to the questions, so that we can modify the questions then and there itself. And this type of interview, the interviewer encourages the respondent to talk freely about the given topic, and here there is no re-planned or proper structured schedule, so everything will be in an unstructured. And here the merits, if you are seeing, it is less prone to interviewer bias, and here we are giving more opportunity for the subjects to tell their views about certain incident, and we can gather more information. The next is the semi-structured interview. This semi-structured interview is a flexible method that allows new questions to be brought out during the interview, that is depending upon the situation. And the semi-structured interview has some characteristics, that is here the interviewer prepares an interview guide, which is an informal list of topics and questions, and the interviewer then we can ask different ways of information from the participant. And even if you are having a structured format, even also we can encourage, if they are having any third options, anything they want to speak out, we can encourage them to speak it out. And the next is the in-depth interview. So in-depth interview, this is an intensive and investigative interview conducted and aimed at studying the respondent's opinion and emotions on the basis of interview guide. And this requires more training and interpersonal skills than structured interview. So here this is designed to encourage free expressions of effectively charged information. And the next is the focused group interview. So the focused group interview is also a unstructured group interview technique, and here we will be having 8 to 12 members brought together. We have to bring it together under the guidance of trained interviewer to focus on a specific phenomenon. So coming to the purpose, what is the purpose of focused interview means? So here we can gain insight from the appropriate sample of target population, and here the researcher make the respondent to focus in a particular direction or particular aspect of a problem, and carefully we can plan discussion where the interview guides a discussion according to written test, or even we can discuss about particular recent issues, and they can concentrate on certain issues, and the interviewer is aimed to, here we can do the analysis based on the subjective experience of the respondent, about their opinion. So all the things can be done in focused group of interview. And the next is the telephonic interview. So the telephonic interview is a non-personal method of data collection, and here it consists of contacting respondents on telephone itself. So it is used widely in industrial surveys, particularly in developed regions. And here main advantage is more flexible and quick way of obtaining information, and it is cost effective, and even very easily we can assess the respondents, and experienced staffs and all not required. So that is the types of interview. Coming to the interview process, so that is the interview process. First one we have to do the preparation of interview. So in preparation, what we have to do first, we have to fix up the appointment. So always the interviewer has to fix up the topic and the time of interview with the subjects ahead of time, because it will all save the time. then even appearance and dress. So some dress code we can inform them, so they will be looking pleasant, and even they can communicate in a genuine interest. And the familiarity with interview schedule. The interview schedule must be studied carefully. Everything should be pre-planned, and the interviewer, she can practice reading it aloud by herself, and she can also able to list items of respond without errors. And the next is the pre-interview introduction. The pre-interview introduction, here the researcher must introduce himself or herself to all respondents. That is, identify the respondents by name, select a setting, and she can describe regarding the intention of interview and the confidentiality which she has assured, and interview structure she can define, and how long the interview will take, and even she can encourage them if they are having any questions, they can arise any questions. And the next is the developing rapport. So the developing rapport, after we are completing our introduction, the researcher starts developing rapport with the respondent. So that is, we are building a confidence with this subjects, that is understanding the concerns of the respondents by beginning the conversation of. So always we should not start from a specific thing, because they will be tired and they may be not understanding what exactly we have aimed. So always start from the general terms, then go to a specific topic. The next is the carrying the interview forward. The carrying the interview, so once you are fulfilling the rapport, the technical task of asking questions from the interview schedule start, and the interview, some guidelines she has to follow, that is start the interview, and we should insist them only one question at a time they should ask, and even we can repeat the question if necessary. And whenever we are clarifying information, make sure that the subject understand whatever your aim, task of asking questions. We can observe the subject's facial expression, gestures and tone of voice, and even we can allow sufficient time to answer the questions, and do not show signs of surprise, shock or anger, and maintain a neutral attitude, and even we can take notes of answers and additional questions if they want to ask, we can encourage them. And always make sure we should not hurry the interview. The next is the recording the interview. So it is very essential thing, always the thing, whatever the interaction, everything should be respondents, answers, the interviewer question, everything should be recorded. That is the good information. Even we can take note, and even we can use a tape recorder or shorthand should be used to some recording devices. Then last one is the closing the interview. So after interview is over, a polite leave the respondent, so we can thank them and have a smile and say goodbye. Coming to the advantages of interview, so the interviews are useful to obtain information about people's feelings, perceptions and opinions, and interview also allow more detailed questions we can ask, higher responses rate we can achieve, and the respondents, they can express their words, feelings, everything in their own words, and ambiguities can be clarified, and incomplete answers or follow-up, and meanings of questions can be clarified, and mainly interviews are not influenced by others in the group. Disadvantage, and mainly it is time consuming and costly affairs, and different interviews may understand and translate interviews in different ways, and there are high degree chances of interview bias. Thank you.